Mamoun, welcome to the Commerce Talks podcast in a very, very, very hot Siemens conference, topic-wise and temperature-wise, I would say. So we are talking today about like the travel industry and your online travel marketplace, as I understand it. Can you please introduce yourself and Wego?
So, first of all, thank you, Alex, for having me in this podcast. Just a great opportunity. My name is Mamoun Hmedan. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Wego, which is an online travel marketplace who basically actively covering the GCC, Middle East, North Africa regions, India and Pakistan, and the Southeast Asia markets. The business model is quite simple. So we're a one-stop shop for travelers to shop an entire marketplace offering be it flights or hotels, where basically we connect with all the airlines and all the online travel agencies or anybody who's basically selling that airfare or that hotel stay. And we allow consumers to shop and compare. And then once they decide, we hand them over to the partner where they complete the transaction, or they can buy from us directly where we have our own merchandise within the marketplace positioning.
And is it fair to say that this is like the local version of like a Booking.com, or is it like too much of a shortcut?
No, the Booking.com is one of our online travel agencies partners. So we do work with them and with the likes of Agoda and Expedia and all the big names that you hear of. Our very similar business set, I would say, globally would be Skyscanner, Trivago, Google. Google Flights, Google Hotels, are basically the companies who are doing pretty much what we do.
But you're focusing on much more than doing flights, right?
So we do flights and accommodation at the same time. So we do flights and hotels.
Okay. Yeah, but are you using Skyscanner from time to time to find out like what is the cheapest flight from, let's say, I want to leave Riyadh today, regardless where to go. Show me the flight with the cheapest fare, and you can go, I don't know, for $100 to Dammam, for example.
So if you are based out of Europe, then Skyscanner would be a product to use. If you are based in this part of the world, then Wego is your product. So this is how.
Can you explain how the data is like connected? As some of the listeners might know Google Flights, for example, and is it kind of public data you can pull from somewhere, or is it like data you have to create yourself, especially if you're saying this is kind of a localized thing?
No, it's an API connectivity happening directly with the online travel agencies or with the airlines. Basically, we create a machine basically with the XML extension, or basically an API that we can connect with the system of the airline or the travel agency or the hotel chain. And basically every time a consumer run a search for a flight or hotel, our API does an over thousands of calls, as we call it, to all the partners, and we get responses from their APIs with the airfare or the.
So if I were to search, let's say a travel or journey here in Saudi, and if I'm using Booking.com, then Booking.com would use your service to do the search?
No. If you are using Booking.com, then you're using Booking.com, and Booking.com would be connected to hotels, whether directly or throughout some wholesalers.
Yeah.
If you are coming to Wego, then we will be calling Booking.com and Agoda and Al Musafir and every other player. Plus, we will be calling the hotel chains directly, and we'll be calling the wholesalers similar to the other OTAs. And we'll give you the entire marketplace. Anybody who's there selling this hotel room is going to be listed from the cheapest to the most expensive. And you'll be able to compare basically and then choose which one you want. So this is how it works. So it's not a one direction towards Wego only as a merchant. It's Wego as a merchant plus all the other active online travel agencies plus the product owner be it the airline or the hotel.
But your customer is then the one who travels, or is it a B2B play?
No, it's the one who travels. So it's a purely B2C player. But I'm explaining to you the B2B side of it, where basically where do we get the
Okay, and I understand the regional part because most likely it's a very different. So you have to talk to, I don't know, Saudi Airlines, Ethiopian Airlines, whatever. Maybe you're like better in communicating with them in Arabic instead of the others are trying to do it out of Amsterdam, for example. Same for the hotels. And then I know there's a couple of hotels that, for example, they don't want to work with the booking engines, not just booking.com, no booking engine. They want to have the customers calling directly. Or there are hotels that they're always booked out, therefore don't want to have like extra bookings. Is this also a case here? So can it be that an airline says, like Ryanair, for example, we have so cheap fares, we don't want to have an engine in between because we want to protect our prices?
It's a global practice. So basically, every airline, every hotel chain, every hotel owner wants the business to come directly to them. Problem is scalability of that, right? The user acquisition, reaching the customers, where we actually come as a very preferred, I would say, way and tool for them, because we come at the lower funnel. So, as an affiliate, as a marketing tool, consumers come to us because they know us. They like to shop the marketplace using our service. They trust us. Maybe they have a profile with us extra. But then, we send pretty much an almost close to transact lead versus any other marketing channel to the hotel chains or the airline. And the transaction still happening on their own website. Mm-hmm. So it is a better way compared to a normal, competitor who's basically taking the entire booking by themselves from the lens of the.
So you sent the customer to the hotel chain's website then? Yep. And there's kind of an affiliate code in this transaction. So you're getting then your percentages on the deal.
Correct.
Okay.
So this is how it works. So basically we are an affiliate game. We are a marketing tool basically where.
Eventually I'm getting then also the invoice from the hotel from the airline. I'm not getting a Wego invoice.
So you're going to get it from the airline or the hotel or the travel agency you booked with, booking.com, Al Musafir here or anybody else. You will, the one you transact with is going to be the seller, not Wego. And if you transact with Wego, then it's going to be Wego.
Okay. But then, I see like in the preparation sheet, where I saw a statement, Wego sends flight and hotel booking referrals worth of 1.5 billion US dollar. And those 1.5 billion, they don't come out of nothing, I guess. So you must do like your own, marketing campaigns. You must make, Wego popular to the end consumer. So you're like somehow competing obviously with hotel chains and just for awareness. So there must be like a margin good enough in this business so you can afford this kind of marketing investments.
Well, very, very good question, actually. Yes. I mean, from a competition landscape, yes, we are all competitors, partners, yet competitors at the same time. We are all trying to get the consumer to deal with us directly before anyone else. When it comes to Wego specifically, or the marketplace proposition, or what we call it meta search, the beauty of it is the rewarding side from the consumers to such a platform, the comparison game, the saving factor that people get to feel when they use a product like us. When we came to the region in 2013, 10 years ago, we did lots of marketing, obviously. We did lots of awareness. We launched our mobile app. It was the first mobile app that gave a full travel marketplace for flights and hotels, comparison and bookings in Arabic with all the local currencies. That helped us having a great traction at that point of time. After that, because of the success we made, because of the drivers, the social media, the activities, the branding activities we've done, we reached to a stage where we've got around 50 plus million app downloads in the GCC only. So it's a very sizable user base. We have around 7 to 8 million active users every month coming and using us.
In GCC only?
In GCC only. And
so that's every month. That's almost everybody who travels, I guess.
Well, not really, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, but like it's 50 million here in GCC. It's like 50 million people, right?
No, 50 million app downloads.
But
some people have like 2 phones probably, so it's hard to say. But we have 7 million to 8 million active users every month. So there are 7 million people who are using.
Yeah, but there's like 50 million people living in the region. I just try to do the breakdown, and then when I
slightly more. I would say
that was like said in other podcasts. So let's calculate with 50 million.
Call it 50 million.
Yeah, call it 50 million. Then if I think about, okay, how many of those will like travel on a yearly basis? So everybody's like traveling at least once, I would say.
Minimum
then you have
once.
some business travelers.
True.
Then like 7 to 8 million active searches every month.
Yep.
But
doesn't mean active transaction, right?
Yeah, I know. But like everybody somehow, so the market share must be really good.
Yeah, we're quite sizable here in the region. I mean, we represent pretty much most of the online marketplace, I would say, for this part of the world.
Yeah, and that I forget in my calculation. Not everybody is searching online, right? There's still like an offline travel agency business still.
Yeah, big one. So online is still around, I would say, 40% of the total travel business. So you have a lot. But people here like to shop, like to discover, like to come and see what options do they have, where do they go, what hotels do they go to. We have people who come to our content site as well within the application to read, to understand, to learn more about destinations. We work a lot with destination tourism offices, all the tourism boards around the world. We pretty much work with them trying to educate consumers from here about their destination, the product they offer, and, create reasons for them to go and travel and discover the place. So there are multiple reasons as well for people to come and use us, beside the actual fact of searching and transacting and buying a hotel or a flight ticket.
Oh, okay. And is Google then one of your main competitors here in the region? Is Google the main search engine here?
So Google is the biggest, obviously, worldwide. Travel, I would say, still relatively new for this part of the world. Are they a competitor partner as everyone else?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to differentiate in your
exactly.
In your
Are
business.
they the largest today? I think so. From an actual volume perspective, definitely.
What is the travel behavior here in this region? So we are now in Saudi, in Riyadh. I understand they just opened like for tourism travel since a couple of years. The religious travel is here like since decades because of Mecca.
That's it.
It's mainly around like Mecca, but is like the travel behavior here, can I compare it with like European travel behaviors? Are people going out for vacations to Thailand, India, I don't know, Australia, like twice a year, or how does it work here?
So big difference to from a trends perspective and behavior to Europe or, the Western markets in general. Over here, it's a very last minute market. So people tend to search and plan and book within 2 weeks window.
Why is that?
Just the habit, the
My
culture.
wife forces me like to book 1 year in advance. If I'm not booking like the Easter holiday vacation, she's really nagging me. Yeah.
Over here, it's very last minute.
Okay.
It's mostly families, so big groups, families and friends traveling together. So average booking value is quite high usually. Lead time is short. They're very much into the discovery side of things. Very social media driven market, I would say. If they learn about a new destination that they've never been to or they didn't know much about, they will be one of the first to go and jump and try. They are, people from this part of the world are travelers by nature, right? Because they used historically to travel.
Because if you would ask like a European or let's take the German traveler. So if he were into like Egypt every year for summer vacation, there's no other vacation for him. Like it's 20 years Egypt. If it's Mallorca, it's like 20 years Mallorca. It's like it's different here.
Very different. We have some, I would say, famous static sort of destinations, right? They go
what is the Mallorca of Saudi?
London.
Oh,
yeah. So,
yeah, that's a good quote for the podcast.
You will see a lot of repeat visitation to the UK generally. Switzerland's another destination that you see a lot of repeat. Malaysia, Turkey. There are a few destinations that's been kind of famous and static. Egypt is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But there are so many emerging and new destinations coming into the mix as well. The likes of Azerbaijan, Georgia, the Eastern European countries in general that kind of came in the radar in the past few years. And as I said earlier, people from this part of the world are happy to go and try, and they like to try the local taste of things. So Airbnb and any alternative accommodation was kind of a great tool, a great solution for them to discover, especially that they travel in groups and families. They like to go and discover versus, other markets. So instead of having a pre-planned package, with like a proper schedule and all of that, they're more with the behavior of I get in there and then I see what I can do, right? I'll do a bit of preparation before, but they still have the habit to go to the front desk at the hotel and say, okay, what's the best here? What can I do? Where should I go? They're a big fan of local taste, local experience, local food, local music, anything to do with the local authenticity, kind of grab their attention.
Okay. How do you grow here in this market? Because it sounds like your market share is so big already. So do you need to focus like on other markets outside of the core GCC region? So
we have a sizable business in India and Pakistan and Southeast Asia, where we started basically. But
when did you start?
2005 is where the business started.
So it's almost 20 years old.
Started in Singapore, very focused on Southeast Asia market until a globalization sort of exercise happened, the company, where we started, translating the website at that time into multiple languages. That happened late 2011. And then Arabic organically started to show us some tractions. And that sort of grabbed the attention at that time of coming and taking this market here more seriously. And then we came 2012 just to try to understand the market. 2013 is where the business was launched. How did we grow? Multiple things, right? I think first mover advantage played a big role with that. The localization played a big role of that. So we offered the entire experience in Arabic, which was a big plus, especially in a market like Saudi. We came at the time where smartphones were kind of evolving at that time, moving into bigger screens, faster. We found out that we are enjoying one of the highest penetration, one of the biggest and fastest bandwidth in the world, in this part of the world. So many people had smartphones. Most people have 2, 3 devices sometimes. They spend lots of time on it. Social media was on the rise. Facebook, Twitter, where really gave us a nice platform to demonstrate and showcase the product and drive consumers to try us out. Lots of local partnerships. So we partnered straight away with all the local airlines, the Saudia here, the Emirates and Etihad in UAE, Oman Air, Extra. All the players globally and locally who are interested in coming into and discovering that market at that point in time came and became a partner, the likes of Wego.com and many others. So I think that all together came at the right time. We were very, very product focused, very tech focused. So we're the first, I think, a travel player who adopted the progressive web app design. So we went away from, responsive mobile website into a progressive web app, giving consumers a very fast, very seamless experience. We revamped our apps completely around 2015, relaunched it in the region here with all the local payment solutions, with all the local payment options, because it varies from market to another in the region, with all the local currencies. We invested a lot on a local customer service because we discovered that as much as we tried to explain the model and put disclaimers saying like, okay, we're not transacting with us, transacting with our partners, people still want someone from Wego where the whole transaction started to accommodate them and help them out. And therefore we put a big investment into building a full stack customer service in Cairo, operating 24 hours, toll free. And then we started adding chats, adding emails, adding whatever happening, including WhatsApp at the moment.
Do you charge the customer for it, or the hotel or the airline when there's like a request on like a travel from a customer? Because when the contract is directly with the airline, who is paying for the jet?
So basically, we don't charge the consumers. We don't charge the customers. We don't see it as the right way to do this. But we do have different commercials agreements with the partners, where basically we can apply some sort of charges in case of a certain number of complaints received in a given month, or a situation that we are facing with them.
Okay, I got it. And how did you experience Corona? Because like for a travel agency, and I had travel agency or travel businesses before in the podcast, but this was before Corona. So and I guess like here was also a lockdown, and most of the regions of the world was a lockdown. So how was it from a perspective of a business related to the travel?
Well, it was very bad, I must say. Like we witnessed weeks and months of literally zero revenue. So wasn't a great experience. Was too emotional at the beginning, I must say. Seeing all the growth kind of gone, all the dashboards, with negative signals. But I think what we did well is we made some good decisions in place. Number one, that we decided to keep the company together and maintain the team. So we didn't go into a layoff exercise.
How big is the team?
Nearly 300 people. So we all had a pay cut. We all decided to navigate this together. We followed the rules in the countries where we operate. So we went home where we had to go home for a lockdown. We came back to office when we were allowed to come back to office. We worked remotely. We enabled ourselves all the tools. The board was very supportive from that perspective as well. And we decided to actually, in the absence of the actual travel, to go and do multiple things. We revisited our entire product roadmap, and we put all the stakeholders together to fast track building many, many products. And we managed to really get multiple things that normally would take way longer, done and built within the Corona time. We came out with a new business solution to keep the consumers engaged. We put together a business model called ShopCash, where basically it's a cash rewards platform for any e-commerce transaction people do with any of the big e-commerce you can name globally or locally. So we partnered with all the likes of Amazon and Noon in this part of the world, and many others. We put them into a platform, we call it ShopCash. It's a website and application separate one. And we reach out to our users who know Wego very well, interact with Wego over the time, do have the trust, and we introduce the product to them. And basically it works on a reverse affiliate model. So, we reward people for their usual routine purchases from those e-commerce players. We create a virtual wallet for them, where we take big chunk of the commission we make for the referral, and we put it back in that wallet for consumers, whether to reuse it again, or they can buy flights and hotels tickets when travel is back. That was the theory during COVID. Or they can claim the cash and we simply transfer it back to their bank account. And that was kind of a great way to keep the consumers engaged, keep the users, aware of what we're doing, keep the team busy, and became a business unit by itself right now, which is kind of becoming the loyalty umbrella of Wego.
Nice.
So, Mamoun, good afternoon, everyone. Mamoun, you are actually I'm a user of the app, and you are definitely leading when it comes to the whole AI transformation. You use AI way before anyone else in Seamless, way before any retailer, kind of mentioned. And I believe that you guys were definitely experimenting before AI was a hype, globally. So can you tell us some learnings, that you embraced during that transformational journey, and what are you currently working on when the whole world is trying to invest in AI?
Sure. So, Yeah, for us, we like to say always that we are a tech company, happen to be in travel. So we're tech at the core.
This I've heard before from many companies. All the fashion companies saying the same. We are a tech company, happen to be in fashion.
Yeah, it's true. But actually, it's all about how you can create a product that serve a critical mass of users at the same time with the minimum number of failures you can expect, right? So tech is the main leader for the entire business, basically. AI is an area that we heard many people talking about. We all spoke about it, to be honest, but we didn't really have a proper roadmap towards implementing AI tools within the search travel search experience altogether. But with the technology evolvement happening at the moment, and where the most of the ChatGPT and the APIs capabilities that can give you, and many other platforms that are trying to help the case now, we're actually working in a very great way, on adding many features into the business now, utilizing some of the AIs. We took some of the key engineers within the team. We created a center for this, where basically we told them, okay, stop doing whatever you're doing, just focus on the features we want to utilize AI and build. The idea in summary is the following. We would like to go from the static, typing sort of travel search into more voice enabled, multilingual voice enabled search. We wanna enable users to, basically use us to plan their trip rather than actually just, show them options for flight and hotel and the booking solution for it, or a provider to book with. We want to go more into, okay, where can I go? We have that data all stored in our blogs, in our content.
But can you give me more a more specific example on this? So today I'm going to your website and say, I want to fly from Riyadh to Hamburg. So give me the best option tomorrow. So price, time, connections, stopovers.
Yeah. So instead of going and making your filters, which we can enable you with today, we would like to have it more around the recommendation sort of, behavior recommendation.
So I would say, okay, I'd like to go from Riyadh to Hamburg, with a business class flight cheaper than, €2,000 and with, seats that you can, put in the flat mode instead of the cheap.
No, I know. And then correct me if I'll step in, maybe as a user. What they mean is you come here, you as European, you don't have issues of passport, okay? In this part of the world, 90% of users, they can't go from Riyadh to Hamburg tomorrow, right? So for them, it's not a concern of going tomorrow. They actually say, I am Indian passport holder. I want to go on holiday for €2,000. Where can I go? Where should I check?
This would be a request. Yeah?
Very true. So one of the very successful.
That's not my problem.
well,
and you're a minority. Just to emphasize, you and me minority to those passports.
Very true. So in this part of the world, one of the very successful features we have on the app today is exactly what Lina just mentioned. We have a place where you can put your passport and where do you live, because it varies as well. And then we give you places that you can go to without a visa or visa on arrival, or kind of a seamless sort of an easy visa process versus some of the other places. This can be completely empowered and giving more accurate, faster solution utilizing AI, for example. Now to your question, yes, we also want AI to help with that. Maybe not to the level of the seat at this point of time, but basically, yeah, okay, I want to travel tomorrow, kind of building a personal assistant, AI empowered tool.
I know. If you're a frequent business traveler, then you have the people are looking into I know Lina knows one, into what kind of airplane is flying, what has the best seat distance, what has the best features, and people spending on what's the name, SeatGuru.com has information on it. I'm finding myself sometimes, and then you end up with very rare choices, where you don't have any filters. But this kind of information you can only add with AI. You cannot add another 5,000 filters, and the whole system would break down.
No, but we we can create a much more accurate and much more faster, and much more tailor-made for a consumer versus the other consumer. So personalization is a great challenge that every e-commerce face all the time. Being a travel marketplace is one of the hardest points to address, because frequency of usage is low. I mean, the highest frequency of use for an app like us by a consumer to travel is going to be 4 or 5 times a year between business and personal trips. So we're not a food order or a taxi or a ride, booking platform. Therefore, we know, as much as we know about the consumer, we know little compared to the others. So we're trying to create more tools that basically give us more information by having that sort of dialogue with the consumer, and creating better profile that we know that you prefer staying in this hotel chain versus the other. You're more a city hotel rather than a resort kind of a person. We know when you travel business versus, we have all of this data today, and we utilize it in one way or another. But I think AI will give us a big advantage when it comes to that. We're also adding a lot of AI-enabled tools within our customer service at the moment. So lots of bilingual or multilingual sort of AI-enabled tools to the customer service, especially on the chat front. We have our customer service in Egypt, where we are comfortable enough with the Arabic side of things. We face challenges with other languages. We think that there are tools, and we are already browsing, integrating some of those that will basically help us having a much more machine translated text. So we allow our users to still reply, our agents to still reply in Arabic where they are comfortable, but we make sure that there is a tool in between that will give as fluent as possible English or French or German or any language sort of experience. So this is another area where we are utilizing and focusing a lot on at the moment.
So maybe before I just run back into the auditorium, I think, Mamoun, it would be interesting if you tell our listeners more about the culture difference here on the travel. So what I mean, we don't have in the UAE, KSA, or any other, GCC country, we don't have a concept of bank holidays which are planned in advance. Okay. So bank holidays gets announced 2 days before, 4 days before,
announced from who? Like, it's
by
like
the government.
Spontaneous bank holidays?
Yeah, no, they look at the moon. So they look at the moon, and Mamoun can tell you more from the travel, but there are the committees that look to the moon, and they say, okay, tomorrow the government is shut for 4 days. It's a bank holiday. Public sector needs to give 5 days. Private sector 3 days.
But based on what? Because the moon is so nice, or what?
It's a related to religion.
But this is not plannable?
No. So, imagine, so like their provider. So they're like, you might be thinking, okay, how are they winning over Skyscanner, right? But these guys actually understand these sort of uniqueness to the market. And as I say, that maybe before I run away, you can tell more about it, because that is very unique. That's very interesting. And their searches can go from, 1,000 a second to like 10,000 a second.
True.
And, they have to be ready in terms of infrastructure. They have to be ready in terms of hotel availability, travel flights.
I've never heard about
exactly.
Spontaneous bank holidays.
Yeah.
And this is only in Saudi, or it's like
across GCC.
Across GCC.
Any Muslim,
And
so you don't have like fixed 10 bank holidays.
No.
Here's like the foundation of the country. Here's like King's birthday stuff. No.
So this.
Okay, I leave you to it. I just wanted to make sure that you tell about
good point.
it. Because you will definitely apply AI into it. Thank you, Mo.
Thank you, Lina.
Thank you. Thanks, Lina.
Yeah.
So, over here, few holidays. Like school holidays, summer breaks, spring breaks. Those are preset, and you will know exactly from what time until what time. What varies here is basically the Eid holidays, right? So after Ramadan break, so you get a Ramadan of 1 month, based on the moon movement, and therefore you don't know exactly when that Eid holiday is gonna happen, right? It might be tomorrow, or it might be the day after tomorrow. And you wait until the night before to tell you, okay, tomorrow is the end of Ramadan and the Eid, big celebration, or tomorrow is still Ramadan and day after tomorrow is going to be Eid. And that varies a lot around the weekends as well, and how people, because usually you take like 2 days, 3 days of those, and then you combine that with the weekend, and then you have like a good 1 week or 10 days or 9 days holiday, whatever. So that's kind of happened frequently around this part of the world, which makes it more a last minute decision. And yes, very true. Actually, we see a very unusual spike sometimes. For example, a month or a couple of months ago, we saw a big spike in one of the markets. But we're like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? So I called someone living over there. I said, oh, guys, we know it's in the middle of the season. It's summer where basically everybody travels, all of that. But what happened yesterday? I mean, yesterday was exceptional. He said yesterday was the high school grades announcements. I was, so what does that mean? He said, so yesterday people who had, children at the year 12, at the, baccalaureate basically, have seen their children results, yesterday. Therefore, many families actually were postponing their travel until they know what happened with their children. Do they have any extra exams to take over summer, or they need to, it's a done deal for them? Do they need to do anything? So everything was parked pretty much until that moment. The moment it was announced, everybody was like, okay, congrats, good time to celebrate. Let's book our travel. So many of these kind of, unusual sort of seasonal trends happen in this part of the world versus, a very static sort of mature, preset sort of markets like what you see in Europe.
When you're going in this like a kind of AI direction, and now you're covering like hotels and flights, isn't it like very temptive to go into like every travel related like transportation device, for example, like buses, trains? It's not a big thing yet here, but it will come. How do you get from the airport to the hotel with a taxi, and try to tap into all like API powered layer?
So we added train, for example, for the India market as a service. And I can tell you that the traction is amazing. We're also adding bus service at the moment for the market in India. Do we want? Yes, we do. We want to be a full-fledged travel super app or marketplace that basically answer every question and help travelers with everything they want to do. We're very famous with the pre-trip, as we call it now. So anything to do before you travel, we would like to be with the customer during the trip and post-trip. So during the trip, basically, as you said, car hire, buses, transportations, trains, whatever we can do. And also post-trip, building, a strong review system in place and have a proper, learnings from it and apply it into much more machine sort of enabled tools towards the personalization exercise, which we are obsessed about. So yes, we have those plans, but like any other company, you have always big plans, but you need time, efforts, resources and money to be able to accomplish all of them. But that's always on the radar.
And like there's like one other vector where you can verticalize. You can you might be able to see very, very lucrative areas. A spike in hotel search. I don't know, in a location near Neum, where you say, okay, there's like a lot of there's a strong search, but the offers are not so big. Maybe we can sell this kind of data to hotel group providers.
No, but that's something we do already. I mean, so definitely we are, as I said earlier, that we have a very, very sizable media business, that we have multiple players buying our banner space and some of our retargeting capabilities extra. But we also work a lot with the tourism offices around the world, where basically we give them tons of data around around points like what you said, behaviors, trends, places people are looking at, some reviews we hear, some reviews we receive, and all we pass it by to our partners at the, ministries of tourism or national tourism offices. Basically, they utilize that and put it into the plans to address many of these things. So this is an area that we utilize very well since a few years.
Super nice. So when we meet again here next year in Riyadh, next Seamless, what will be the state of Wego then?
I think by then we will be done with many of those AI projects. So we will have a different product experience, hopefully by then, that we can talk about. So
it's not going to be optional. It will be like part of the core product. It's not like they have like the standard search and then AI powered search.
It's gonna be, you will always have a way to go back to the standard if you prefer to, but yeah, the default I think will be more tailor-made. I wish by next year, same time next year here, we talk more about user profiling and how did we do and what did we achieve with that? Because also it's another area where we are obsessed. And the last thing I think I have to commit to talk about next podcast next year is the loyalty program, which comes along with the user profiling, comes along with the Shopcash business model, all of those together.
Very cool. Mamoun, thank you for being here in the podcast.